Yeah, on film, they're a lot better. They have all seniors on the offensive line. Running backs are good. I'm not sure, not quite sure who their quarterback is, but as far as their offense as a whole, they're a lot better than what they were last year and the previous years. I think it'll be more of a struggle to stop them this year than the past years. So we'll see.
When you see them, and this is obviously a big game because every Big South game is big, but they're kind of riding a big high, coming off a big win over Liberty. Do you expect them to come in here with a little different attitude than maybe the last couple of years when y'all kind of owned them a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I think just in previous years they've laid down to us. I think this year it's going to be a different story. I think that we're gonna get their best, just like we do from every other team in the conference. I think that it's going to be a ball game.
Your offense seems to have found a little life lately, but it still comes down to the defense. Do y'all kind of, as a unit, you're the veteran guys, kind of take it as the challenge of, hey, we got to do our job, and maybe they'll find ways to score, but y'all still got to be on top of your game?
Yeah. Well, every game we want to go into the game with the mindset of shutting them out, regardless who we're playing, and you know. And offense, that's their own deal, you know. Regardless of how they're playing, we can. If they're playing bad, we put it on our backs. If they're playing good, you know, we kind of have our own game and we kind of do our own thing. So we don't really let the offensive play dictate how we play.
Has the defense, you think, is there still room for improvement? Y'all seem to be playing a lot more consistent the last 2 weeks. But, I mean, talk about what your coaches are telling y'all in terms of consistency and getting better.
Yeah, I think we've up front, especially our box, we've gotten a lot better this year. I mean, as you know, we have a pretty good box. I think secondary, we're playing a lot better. I think we gave up some plays last week, but it's just some things we need to correct, and we're going to get it fixed.
Monmouth doing much different schematically than past years, or just better players, better execution?
No, it's pretty much the same stuff. Lots of trucks, lots of zones, lots of back plays. Pretty much the same stuff as last year.
Monmouth coming off of probably maybe the biggest win since they've joined the Big South, beating Liberty the other day, the way they beat them. What do you see from them, having you've been here, have played them the previous 3 times? What's different about this team than the years past?
For the most part, same young men playing harder. Mm-hmm. There's not a whole lot of new faces than the team that we faced a year ago. Playing harder and believing. It's a lot of it. It's an awful lot of it.
Yeah. Start winning and you start
believing,
building on that.
Yes. That could be the mantra for us since we came here in 2013. Hoping and thinking and believing and knowing are 2 entirely different things in a football program.
When you say they got a lot of the same faces, obviously they've matured.
Yes.
They do pretty much the same stuff. I mean, are they easier to prepare for because they're doing the same stuff, or are they got some wrinkles?
They got some wrinkles. They're obviously scoring points. They've given up some points. Holy Cross, that's a good football game. The only loss right now is to Albany. They certainly had a good time last week at homecoming at their place against Liberty. They helped themselves with a special team score early, house to kick, and momentum is a big part of the game of football, and they rode it. Got out and jumped out to a lead that Liberty just couldn't overcome.
In the recent contest, your defense has really dominated them. Zane was just talking about they're confident as a unit because they know who they're playing, but they know they have to play better than they've been playing. Are you going to lay this on the defense and say, hey, you keep them at a certain point, we'll find a way to score enough points to win?
No, the ebb and flow of a football game, it is what it is. At the end of the day, we got to score 1 more point than they do. I've only a couple times in my coaching career have I run into a situation where we might have had a great deal of youth on the defensive side. I've had good friends, Air Force guys that I've known for years. When the Mountain West, in coaching circles, it was referred to as we don't play defense here, and
Right.
the scores are. It looks like a basketball game.
Right.
And the mentality of those type of situations I haven't been in very often. We ran into it in '94 at the Citadel. We were really good, and we were really young defensively. We were having a hard time slowing people down, and we got to that place where guys, we're going to score one more than they do. So don't worry, we have you. I mean, that's the part of team.
Yeah.
And Lord knows that our defensive kids have held us in games and made things and kept things respectable. I felt like we had an opportunity to go up and compete much better offensively against Indiana, and our kids performed very, very well defensively. Gave up a late score right before half, and ended up a very respectable score. We stick the ball in the end zone once or twice. I mean, I'm not saying we beat them, but I'm saying we make the game more interesting, and our kids feed off of it, just like any football program does. So, that plays itself out every single week. We have to go play, and we know we have to go produce points. And again, one more than they have. That's all we care about. We feel very good about our plan defensively, and we feel very good about our plan offensively. We need to be in the right place, doing the right things in the kicking game, as long as the other two phases. Never changes. It doesn't.
What have you seen out of London and Shane this week?
Very good competition. Two guys working very hard, which is a very good thing. Everybody gets better that way. It's the way it should always be.
As far as London's performance last week, what did he do better than he's done when he's gotten opportunities this year?
We spent an awful lot of time in the past year and a half since that Tallahassee start talking about seeing the young man that I recruited. I didn't physically recruit him, but the young man I saw play in the second round of the playoffs against Darlington his senior year that took over a football game. Literally took it over. And it confirmed everything I believed about him on film. So, where's that guy in mind and heart and confidence level, and working to get him to that place. And there's nothing like playing that it either reveals it that it's there or it's not. That's the litmus test. So, he's far from having arrived, far from it, but he's just very gifted. He difference maker speed, difference maker feet, and as the confidence grew, when first throw of the game the other night, it wasn't 60 feet 6 inches. It was about 58 feet, and he short hopped it to a guy that was open. And I'm, as his coach, I'm okay, all right. So, but he threw the ball with much more authority as the game went on, and you could see the confidence build. So that's where we're at.
In the backs, Shannon's had some success lately. Ronnie, Wilson. I mean, that's kind of what you were talking about in August, that you have a lot of people, and now they're all starting to produce. The line's getting better, but your backs are starting to step up a little bit.
Yes, they are. I've been very, very happy with our guys up front. We're getting to a place where we're playing pretty well, and we're getting nasty. We are. There's a physical mentality that I love, and it's one of the reasons that I wanted Coach Hudson and Coach White in here, and to devote that much history and teaching and mentality to our guys up front, and they are buying in. And I can't say it was always that way early, but they are buying in, and it is showing fruit. So, and we got to go prove it every single week, but we are on the upswing, and we are moving. Now, that obviously makes things a lot cleaner for our backs, and so we have competition, and it's amazing how young men compete when I want on the field. Go earn your way on the field.